Before 2026 arrives, something must be understood. Not everyone will experience 2026 the same way. For some, it will be the year of pressure, confusion, and silent regret. For others, it will feel like the world finally moved in their favor. The difference will not be luck, not education, not even hard work alone. The difference will be awareness. For thousands of years, the old masters believed the body carries signals before the mind understands them. Marks, lines, patterns, not superstition, direction. Your hand does not predict your future. It reveals how you are meant to move through it. And if certain signs are present, 2026 will not break you. It will elevate you. Most people spend their lives chasing clarity. They look outward at trends, money, motivation, and noise. But ancient systems taught the opposite. The map was already within you. The hand was seen as a mirror of focus, a reflection of discipline, a quiet record of how energy flows through your life. These hidden signs do not guarantee success. They demand responsibility. If you recognize them, 2026 will test you, but it will also reward you in ways others won't understand. Because the year ahead is not about speed, it is about alignment. And when alignment appears, life moves fast. Number 1, heightened focus when others feel scattered. In 2026, focus will no longer be common. It will be rare. And anything rare becomes valuable. Most people believe distraction comes from phones, noise, or busy schedules. But the truth is deeper. Distraction comes from inner instability. When the mind is not trained, it looks for escape. When the mind is not disciplined, it looks for stimulation. And when the mind is not clear, it becomes exhausted by small things. Ancient observers noticed something important. Some people naturally return to focus even after chaos, not because life is easier for them, but because their energy flows inward, not outward. This is what the signs on the hand reflect. They do not mean you will never be distracted. They mean you are capable of regaining focus quickly, a skill far more powerful than constant attention. In 2026, the world will move faster. Information will be louder. Pressure will increase. And many will feel mentally fragmented, working, scrolling, worrying, reacting, all at once. But if you carry these signs, something different happens. While others panic, your mind slows down. While others chase everything, you instinctively narrow your attention. While others scatter their energy, you concentrate it. This is not an accident. It is a pattern. Focus, at its highest level, is not force. It is alignment. When your inner state matches your outer action, effort disappears. Work becomes silent. Progress becomes steady. That is why, in 2026, you will not need motivation like others do. Motivation burns fast, focus burns long. These signs suggest your mind prefers depth over novelty. You don't feel fulfilled by touching many things briefly. You feel fulfilled by mastering one thing deeply. This gives you an unfair advantage. Because while others jump from goal to goal, you stay long enough to extract results. In the ancient schools, this was called returning to center. No matter how far the mind wandered, it could always come back. That ability determines everything. Money responds to focus. Skill responds to focus. Respect responds to focus. Even peace responds to focus. In 2026, many people will feel mentally tired without knowing why. They will blame the world, but the real problem will be that their attention is constantly being stolen. You, however, will feel something else. You will notice that when it is time to work, you work. When it is time to rest, you rest. You are not half present everywhere. This is why progress will accelerate for you. Not because you work harder, but because you waste less energy. Focus is not about intensity. It is about direction. A candle can light a room, but focused through a lens, it can cut steel. In 2026, the people who win will not be the loudest. They will be the ones who can stay with discomfort without escaping. These signs indicate that you can sit with boredom, pressure, and repetition. That alone separates masters from beginners. While others quit when excitement fades, you continue when silence begins. This is where true success forms. Quietly, you may not even realize your advantage at first. You may think everyone experiences focus this way. They don't set. Most people need constant external stimulation to move. You don't hit. That means in 2026, when systems collapse, plans change, and uncertainty rises, you will still be able to think clearly. Clear thinking is power, not emotional power, not aggressive power, but calm, grounded, unshakable power. This is why the ancient masters valued focus above talent. Talent shines briefly. Focus endures. If you recognize this quality in yourself, do not waste it. Do not scatter it on meaningless goals. Do not trade it for attention or approval. Protect it. Because in 2026, focus will be the difference between those who survive and those who rise. Number 2, strong inner direction during uncertain times. In every generation, there comes a year when the outer world becomes unreliable. 2026 is such a year. Plans will change without warning. Systems people trusted will shift. Advice that once worked will feel outdated. And many will stand frozen, not because they are weak, but because they are waiting for certainty that will never arrive. Uncertain times do not destroy people. Lack of inner direction does. The ancient masters understood this long before modern chaos existed. They taught that when the external world becomes unstable, the only thing that matters is whether a person can decide from within. This is what strong inner direction means. It is not confidence. It is not optimism. It is not pretending to know the future. It is the ability to move forward without needing guarantees. The signs reflected on the hand were never about prediction. They were about orientation. Some individuals are wired to constantly look outward for approval, confirmation, permission. Others are built to consult something deeper, a quiet knowing, a grounded sense of timing, an inner compass that does not panic when maps stop working. If you carry these signs, 2026 will feel intense, but not confusing. While others argue, you will pause. While others rush, you will wait. While others hesitate, you will move. Not randomly, not emotionally, but deliberately. Inner direction is revealed most clearly when options multiply. In uncertain times, everyone has advice. Everyone has opinions. Everyone has fear disguised as logic. The undirected mind absorbs all of it and collapses. But a directed mind does something different. It filters, it asks, does this align with my long path? Does this strengthen me or distract me? Does this decision serve who I am becoming, not who I was? In 2026, these questions will matter more than skill, because skill without direction creates wasted effort. Effort without direction creates exhaustion. People will work harder than ever and still feel lost. You will notice something unusual about yourself. You will not feel the urge to react to everything. You will not feel pressure to follow every opportunity. You will feel comfortable saying no, even when others say yes. This is not arrogance. This is orientation. The ancient schools called this walking the narrow path. Not narrow because it is restrictive, but narrow because it is precise. Strong inner direction means you understand that not everything meant for you is good for you. In 2026, temptation will come disguised as opportunity, noise will come disguised as urgency, fear will come disguised as realism. Without inner direction, people will mistake movement for progress. You once said, you will sense when something is off, even if it looks perfect on the surface. And you will sense when something is right, even if it looks risky. This ability does not come from logic alone. It comes from self-trust built over time. The signs suggest a person who has learned from experience, not theory. Someone whose decisions are shaped by reflection, not impulse. That is why your growth may have felt slow in earlier years, you were not wandering. You were calibrating. In 2026, that calibration pays off. When others feel pulled in 10 directions, you will feel pulled inward toward clarity. This does not mean you will never feel doubt. It means doubt will not paralyze you. You will act with doubt present calmly. That is strength. The world respects people who move with quiet certainty. Not loud certainty, not performative certainty, but the kind that does not need to explain itself. In uncertain times, leadership emerges naturally, not from those who talk the most, but from those who remain centered when others lose balance. You may notice people asking for your opinion more often, trusting your judgment, following your lead without you demanding it. This happens because direction is contagious. When someone knows where they stand, others feel safer around them. In 2026, this quality will open doors that force never could. Careers will shift, relationships will realign, paths will diverge. Those without direction will cling to familiarity and suffer. Those with inner direction will adapt and rise. The old masters warned about one thing: inner direction must be protected. Do not let constant input weaken it. Do not let comparison silence it. Do not let fear override it. Stillness strengthens direction. Reflection sharpens it. Solitude clarifies it. If you recognize this quality in yourself, your responsibility is simple but heavy. Move honestly. Move patiently. Move in alignment with your deepest values, not short-term comfort. Because in 2026, the world will reward those who know themselves more than those who know trends. And when the noise finally settles, you will look back and realize you were never lost. You were being guided from within. Number 3, discipline becomes natural, not forced. Most people misunderstand discipline. They think it is something you must fight for every day, something painful, something that requires constant motivation and pressure. That belief alone is why they fail. True discipline is not force, it is alignment. And in 2026, this difference will separate those who burn out from those who quietly outlast everyone else. Forced discipline depends on emotion. When you feel strong, you act. When you feel tired, you stop. Natural discipline is different. It does not ask how you feel. It asks who you are becoming. The ancient masters taught that discipline is a side effect of clarity. When a person knows their direction, discipline follows without resistance. The signs reflected on the hand point to a person whose energy prefers structure over chaos. Not because rules feel safe, but because structure frees the mind. When the outer world is organized, the inner world can rest. In 2026, many people will rely on motivation. They will wait to feel ready. They will wait to feel inspired. And they will wait forever. You will notice something different in yourself. You will move even when the excitement fades. You will continue even when no one is watching. You will return to your practice, not because you are pushing yourself, but because stopping feels unnatural. This is not obsession. It is identity. Discipline becomes effortless when behavior matches self-image. You are not someone who tries. You are someone who does. This is why your progress will appear slow at first, but unstoppable over time. In 2026, the world will reward consistency more than intensity. Quick bursts of effort will impress people. Long-term discipline will change lives. These signs indicate a nervous system that tolerates repetition, a mind that does not panic in boredom, a spirit that understands growth happens quietly. While others chase variety, you refine the same action again and again, and refinement creates mastery. The problem with forced discipline is resentment. People secretly hate what they force themselves to do. Eventually, they rebel. Natural discipline creates respect for the process and for yourself. You do not need to hype yourself up. You do not need punishment. You do not need to announce your goals. You simply show up. In 2026, this will feel like a superpower. Because many people will be overwhelmed by options. They will start many things and finish nothing. Their energy will scatter. You will choose fewer paths and walk them fully. The ancient schools called this small daily victories, not impressive in a single moment, but devastating over years. Discipline, when natural, protects energy. You waste less time negotiating with yourself. You eliminate internal arguments. You conserve willpower. This is why you will have more mental space than others. More clarity, more calm, more endurance. In uncertain times, discipline becomes an anchor. It keeps you grounded when everything else feels unstable. You will notice that when stress rises, you return to routine. When emotions fluctuate, you rely on structure. When motivation disappears, discipline remains. This is maturity, and maturity is rare. In 2026, many people will try to reinvent themselves overnight. They will copy habits they cannot sustain. They will chase transformations they are not prepared for. You will build quietly. You will strengthen the foundations others ignore. And when results appear, they will look sudden. But they won't just be. They will be the result of thousands of small, uncelebrated actions. This kind of discipline also changes how people treat you. They sense reliability. They sense stability. They trust you with responsibility. Opportunities will come not because you ask for them, but because you are consistent enough to handle them. The masters warned that natural discipline must be protected from ego. Do not confuse discipline with rigidity. Do not confuse consistency with control. Leave space for rest. Leave space for reflection. Leave space for adjustment. Discipline should serve life, not suffocate it. If you feel calm while working hard, you are aligned. If you feel exhausted while doing little, you are scattered. In 2026, remember this truth. You do not rise by pushing harder. You rise by removing resistance. And when discipline no longer feels like a struggle, success no longer feels distant. It feels inevitable. Number 4. Emotional control that creates advantage. In 2026, intelligence alone will not be enough. Talent will not be enough. Hard work will not be enough. The people who rise will be those who can control their emotional state while everyone else is being controlled by theirs. Most people believe emotions happen to them. They feel anger, fear, excitement, disappointment, and assume these reactions are unavoidable. The ancient masters disagreed. They taught that emotions are signals, not commands, messages, not masters. Those who obey every emotion become unstable. Those who observe their emotions become powerful. The signs reflected on the hand indicate a nervous system capable of restraint, not suppression. Restraint, there is a difference. Suppression creates pressure. Restraint creates space. In 2026, emotional pressure will be everywhere. Markets will swing. Relationships will be tested. Opinions will clash loudly. And fear will disguise itself as urgency. Most people will react. They will speak too soon, decide too fast, burn bridges they will later need. You will notice something different in yourself. When emotion rises, your first instinct will be to pause, to breathe, to observe. This pause is not weakness, it is dominance over the moment. The masters believe that whoever controls the pause controls the outcome. When others explode, you remain composed. When others panic, you calculate. When others seek revenge, you choose strategy. This is where advantage forms. Emotional control does not mean you feel less. It means you choose when to express and when to remain silent. Silence, in 2026, will be misunderstood by many. They will assume it means uncertainty. In reality, it means processing. A calm mind sees more. A calm mind hears more. A calm mind waits for the right moment. And timing determines everything. People lose opportunities not because they lack ability, but because they react emotionally at the wrong time. You will not. The signs suggest a person who has learned that emotions pass, but consequences remain. So instead of reacting, you respond. Instead of exploding, you adjust. This gives you leverage in every area of life. In conversations, you will notice others reveal too much. They speak from emotion. You listen from clarity. In conflict, others will escalate. You de-escalate or step away, leaving them exhausted and exposed. In negotiations, others rush to prove themselves. You remain neutral, making the other side uncomfortable. This discomfort gives you power. In 2026, emotional intelligence will outperform technical skill because machines can do tasks, but only humans can regulate emotion under pressure. Those who cannot will self-destruct. Emotional control also protects energy. When you stop reacting, you stop wasting time replaying conversations, arguments, and regrets. Your mind becomes quiet. Your sleep improves. Your focus sharpens. This calm becomes addictive, not in a passive way, but in a grounded way. You begin to prefer peace over drama, clarity over chaos, control over expression. The old masters warned that emotional control is often mistaken for coldness. Let them misunderstand. Depth often looks like distance to those who live on the surface. In 2026, people will try to provoke reactions. Online, in workspaces, in personal life. If you react, you lose position. If you remain composed, you gain it. This does not mean you tolerate disrespect. It means you choose your battles strategically. Sometimes the most powerful move is silence. Sometimes it is walking away. Sometimes it is acting later. When emotions have settled, you will sense when to speak and when not to. That sense cannot be taught. It is developed, and these signs indicate you already carry the foundation. As your emotional control deepens, something else happens. People trust you. They come to you when situations are tense. They rely on you when decisions are heavy. They feel safe around you because you are predictable in the best way. You do not lash out. You do not collapse. You remain steady. In uncertain times, steadiness becomes leadership, and leadership attracts opportunity. In 2026, those who cannot control themselves will be controlled by events. Those who can remain composed will shape outcomes quietly. Remember this: emotions are energy. Uncontrolled energy destroys. Directed energy builds. If you carry these signs, your responsibility is simple. Do not give your emotional power away. Do not react for the sake of release. Do not confuse expression with strength. Strength is restraint. And in 2026, restraint will be rare, which is why it will be valuable. Number 5. Increased respect without needing attention. In 2026, attention will be everywhere. Everyone will be speaking, posting, explaining, proving, and because of this, true respect will become rare. Most people confuse attention with importance. They believe the loudest voice carries the most value. The ancient masters knew better. They understood that respect is felt, not announced. The signs reflected on the hand indicate a person whose presence carries weight, even when they say very little. This kind of respect cannot be demanded. It is earned through consistency, restraint, and inner alignment. In 2026, many people will chase validation. They will perform competence instead of building it. They will seek approval instead of cultivating depth. You will move differently. You will not feel the urge to explain yourself. You will not rush to correct others. You will not interrupt silence to fill space. And strangely, because of this, people will listen when you speak. Respect grows when words are rare and actions are reliable. The masters taught that when a person speaks only when necessary, their words land heavier. You will notice that in meetings, conversations, and even personal relationships, your silence will draw curiosity, not because you are hiding, but because you are centered. People sense when someone is not seeking approval. It unsettles them. In a world addicted to attention, detachment becomes magnetic. This does not mean you withdraw from life. It means you are not controlled by reactions. In 2026, many will feel the pressure to constantly show progress, to appear successful, to justify their path. You understand. You will allow results to speak. This quiet confidence will attract respect from the right people, not crowds, but decision makers. Those who matter notice patterns. They notice who shows up consistently, who remains calm under pressure, who does not complain, who does not boast. These are the people trusted with responsibility, and responsibility leads to influence. Influence leads to opportunity. Respect without attention also protects your energy. When you stop seeking validation, you stop exposing your inner world or outside judgment. Your self-worth becomes internal, stable, unshakable. In 2026, external approval will fluctuate wildly, trends will change, opinions will turn, those dependent on attention will feel anxious and unstable. You will feel grounded, because your identity will not be tied to applause. The signs suggest a person comfortable being unseen while building, someone who understands that preparation happens in silence. The old masters said, "The bamboo grows underground for years before it rises." You are in that phase. Respect also changes the way conflict unfolds around you. People think twice before challenging someone who is composed. They choose their words carefully. They sense boundaries without them being spoken. You will not need to assert dominance. Your presence will do it for you. This is not intimidation. It is earned authority. In 2026, authority will shift away from titles and toward character. People will follow those who feel steady, those who don't react impulsively, those who carry themselves with quiet dignity. You will notice people asking for your opinion, not because you demand it, but because they trust it. Respect without attention also deepens relationships. When you stop performing, others feel safe being real. You become a grounding presence, a reference point, someone people rely on when things feel unstable. This kind of respect builds loyalty, not admiration. Admiration fades, loyalty endures. The masters warned that this path requires patience. You will not always be recognized immediately. Others may receive attention faster. They may appear ahead. Let them. In 2026, many who rise quickly will fall just as fast. Your growth will be slower but stronger. Because respect built on character does not collapse under pressure. One day, you will realize something quietly powerful. People defer to you without discussion. Your words end debates. Your presence calms rooms. Not because you demanded it, but because you deserved it. If you carry these signs, remember this responsibility. Do not trade depth for visibility. Do not chase applause. Do not explain yourself to those committed to misunderstanding. Let your actions speak. In a world addicted to noise, the calm voice will be heard the farthest. And in 2026, that voice will carry weight. Number 6. Long-term success over short-term wins. In a world that moves faster every day, where notifications constantly demand our attention and instant gratification tempts us at every turn, it is almost a revolutionary act to focus on long-term success instead of chasing short-term wins. Most people are trapped in a cycle of seeking immediate rewards, the temporary validation of likes on social media, a quick promotion, a fleeting bonus. These moments feel satisfying in the moment, but they rarely leave a lasting impact. Long-term success, on the other hand, is not flashy. It is not immediate. It requires patience, discipline, and a vision that stretches far beyond the present. Long-term success is about building a legacy, a life, and a career that endure even when no one is watching. It is about planting seeds today that will grow into forests tomorrow. Every choice you make, every habit you cultivate, either contributes to this forest or destroys it. The difference between those who achieve long-term success and those who only chase short-term wins lies in perspective. One is transactional, fleeting, and reactive. The other is intentional, strategic, and proactive. Consider the story of two entrepreneurs. The first focuses on rapid growth and immediate profits. He chases trends, pivots constantly, and measures success by quarterly revenue. The second invests in relationships, builds sustainable systems, and prioritizes quality over speed. At first, the first entrepreneur seems to be winning. He gains attention, media coverage, and even temporary financial rewards. But 5 years later, the company built on quick wins collapses under pressure. It had no foundation, no culture, no resilience. The second entrepreneur, however, quietly grows a business that becomes a market leader, a respected brand, and a source of lasting impact. This is the power of long-term thinking. It may feel slow, almost invisible at first, but the results are enduring, compounded, and transformational. The key to embracing long-term success is patience. Patience is not passive waiting. It is disciplined persistence. It is the understanding that the work you do today, often unseen and unappreciated, is the cornerstone of future greatness. Think of a sculptor chipping away at a block of marble. Each strike is deliberate and precise. To the casual observer, nothing appears to be happening. But in reality, every chip brings the sculpture closer to perfection. Life works the same way. The small, consistent efforts you make today, learning a skill, developing emotional intelligence, nurturing meaningful relationships, are invisible to the world in the short term, but in time they create results that are unmistakable and monumental. Another crucial aspect is resisting the temptation to compare yourself to others. Short-term wins are often visible and easy to measure: promotions, viral content, or financial windfalls. Long-term success, however, requires a focus inward. It demands that you define your own standards of achievement rather than measuring yourself against fleeting benchmarks. Legacy-minded individuals understand that the satisfaction of true success is internal. It comes from knowing you are building something of value, not from the applause of an audience that forgets quickly. One practical strategy for prioritizing long-term success is to implement what I call the 5-year filter. Before making any major decision, ask yourself, will this move contribute to the life I want to have 5 years from now? If the answer is no, reconsider. This simple mental filter prevents impulsive choices that may provide temporary excitement but undermine enduring goals. It transforms everyday decisions into deliberate steps toward your future self. Long-term success also requires embracing delayed gratification. The ability to delay pleasure, to endure discomfort today for a greater reward tomorrow, is what separates those who leave a lasting mark from those who burn bright and fade quickly. Consider athletes who train relentlessly, often in isolation, sacrificing social life and comfort, all for the chance to achieve greatness years down the road. Or think of the writers, artists, and thinkers who labor in obscurity for years before their work finally resonates with the world. In each case, the person is not motivated by short-term applause but by a commitment to enduring achievement. Another element, often overlooked, is the cultivation of resilience. Long-term success is rarely linear. It is a series of peaks and valleys, of setbacks and breakthroughs. By focusing on long-term goals, you equip yourself to weather adversity. Short-term wins can provide a dopamine spike, but they rarely teach the lessons that failure teaches: perseverance, adaptability, and self-mastery. When you focus on long-term success, challenges become tools, not obstacles. Each failure becomes a lesson, each setback a stepping stone. It is also important to consider relationships in the context of long-term success. People who chase short-term wins often exploit connections for immediate gain, burning bridges and alienating allies. Those who think long-term invest in relationships that grow richer over time: mentors, collaborators, partners, and friends who will be sources of guidance, opportunity, and support for years to come. This relational capital compounds over a lifetime, creating possibilities that no amount of quick wins can replicate. Legacy is another critical lens through which to view long-term success. What will remain of your efforts when the applause dies down? The impact you leave on your family, community, and industry defines your true success. Every short-term win fades, but a life built on intentional choices, deep relationships, and meaningful contributions leaves an imprint that outlives you. This is the mindset of those who achieve greatness. They think in decades, not days, in lifetimes, not moments. Finally, long-term success requires self-awareness and adaptability. The world is constantly changing, and clinging to outdated strategies can sabotage even the most patient efforts. However, long-term thinkers do not compromise their vision for the sake of expediency. They adapt strategically, learning and iterating while maintaining a clear view of their ultimate goals. This combination of patience, flexibility, and strategic focus is what turns dreams into legacies. The pursuit of long-term success over short-term wins is not easy. It demands discipline, vision, and courage. It requires a mindset shift from immediate gratification to enduring value, from external validation to internal mastery, from fleeting recognition to timeless impact. Every choice you make is a seed planted in the soil of your future. Short-term wins are like flowers that bloom and wither within a day. Long-term success is like a tree that grows slowly, withstands storms, and provides shade for generations. If you want to change the trajectory of your life, focus less on the applause of the present and more on the legacy you will leave. Invest in the work that no one sees today, in the relationships that grow quietly over time, in the skills that compound for decades. Long-term success is not accidental, it is intentional. It is the result of strategic, patient, and resilient action. Choose it, and you will create a life that not only succeeds but inspires, endures, and transforms everything it touches. Number 7. Alignment with the right opportunities. In life, one of the most misunderstood truths is that you cannot chase everything. We live in an age of relentless hustle, where every opportunity looks like it demands immediate action. Social media amplifies this, showing a constant parade of people seizing every chance, pivoting, starting new ventures, or claiming success in ways that seem instantaneous. And yet, those who try to grab everything often end up with nothing. They are busy, yes, but busy in the wrong direction. Long-term winners understand a subtle, almost mystical truth: the right opportunities do not require chasing. They arrive when preparation meets timing. They arrive when your skills, mindset, and habits have matured to meet the moment the universe presents. Think of opportunity not as something you hunt, but as something you attract. Imagine a river. If you try to swim against it blindly, you exhaust yourself, pulled in every direction by competing currents. But if you understand the river, its rhythm, its path, you position yourself in a place where the current carries you naturally toward the right shore. Life operates in the same way. You cannot force doors open, you can only prepare yourself, sharpen your skills, and stay ready. So when the door opens, you step through without hesitation. Preparation is the invisible work that precedes visible opportunity. It is the late nights spent mastering your craft, the early mornings spent building discipline, the countless hours others consider wasted because they do not produce instant results. These are the hours that cultivate the strength, clarity, and timing to recognize the opportunity when it appears. It is not luck, it is readiness. A musician who has practiced for years does not become famous because someone randomly heard a song. They are ready the moment fate knocks. An entrepreneur does not find the perfect market by accident. They have built the expertise, network, and vision to recognize it. This is why timing without preparation often fails, and preparation without timing feels invisible. Only when both converge does destiny reveal itself. You will know when alignment occurs because it feels different. The world slows down for a moment. Doors that were invisible suddenly appear. The conversations you've had for years suddenly bear fruit. The projects you quietly built behind the scenes suddenly gain momentum. This is the feeling of fate moving, not as a random accident, but as the natural consequence of your invisible work colliding with the right circumstances. It is subtle, but unmistakable. A quiet affirmation that you are exactly where you need to be, at precisely the right time. One practical strategy for achieving alignment is to cultivate selective attention. You cannot pursue everything. Doing so disperses energy, focus, and impact. Instead, you must develop the discipline to recognize which opportunities are worth your time and which are distractions dressed as chance. Ask yourself consistently, does this align with my skills, vision, and long-term goals? If it does, pursue it with full force. If it does not, let it go. This does not mean ignoring risk or stepping away from challenges. It means choosing wisely, channeling energy into doors that amplify your potential rather than scatter it. Real-life stories illustrate this principle better than theory ever could. Consider a young engineer in a small company who spends years quietly building his expertise. He is not the loudest, the most visible, or the most ambitious in conventional ways. He does not chase every promotion, every headline, every fleeting trend. Instead, he focuses on mastering his field, building relationships, and learning to solve problems that others cannot. One day, a global corporation enters his town, looking for exactly the kind of expertise he has nurtured in obscurity. The opportunity is perfectly aligned with his preparation. He is ready, he steps forward, and his life changes dramatically. What looks like luck to the outside world was actually the product of years of intentional preparation combined with perfect timing. Another key to alignment is trust. Many people rush from one door to another because they do not trust that the right door will appear. They force situations, overextend themselves, and exhaust their energy in vain attempts to create opportunities prematurely. Alignment requires patience and faith, not a blind faith in fate, but a trust in the process of your preparation. It is the belief that if you continue to grow, learn, and position yourself strategically, the doors that matter will open at the right moment. This trust is not passive, it is active. It requires vigilance, focus, and a willingness to act decisively when the opportunity appears. Equally important is the ability to recognize when a door is not for you. Sometimes opportunities arrive that seem tempting but are misaligned with your ultimate path. Many people accept these doors because they fear missing out, and in doing so, they waste years building someone else's vision instead of their own. Alignment is not about seizing every opportunity, it is about seizing the right one. You learn to say no without regret because you understand that every no preserves your energy for the right yes. Timing is also deeply tied to energy and readiness. The right opportunity may arrive multiple times in life, but it will only benefit those prepared to act. Consider a farmer planting seeds. If the soil is not ready or the conditions are wrong, the seeds will not grow. But when the time is right, the seeds sprout quickly and abundantly. Your life works the same way. Opportunities may appear only when you have cultivated the skills, mindset, and experience to leverage them fully. To rush, force, or act prematurely is to plant seeds on barren ground. Alignment with opportunity is also a profoundly strategic practice. It requires scanning the environment, observing trends, learning from mentors, and developing foresight. You must understand not only yourself, but also the landscape in which you operate. By combining self-awareness with external awareness, you position yourself to move decisively when the universe presents its opening. This is the difference between reactive people who scramble after any chance and proactive individuals who recognize the subtle signs of a door about to open and step through with confidence. Finally, alignment is deeply tied to vision and purpose. Opportunities may appear, but only those aligned with your higher vision matter. If your goal is short-term gain, almost anything can feel like an opportunity. But if your goal is to leave a legacy, to create lasting impact, only a select few doors will truly matter. Long-term success requires discernment, clarity, and patience, the willingness to wait for the moments that matter, and the courage to ignore the noise that does not. In conclusion, alignment with the right opportunities is one of life's most subtle and powerful principles. It is the art of preparing in obscurity, of trusting in the timing of your life, and of focusing relentlessly on the opportunities that amplify your long-term impact. The doors you are meant to walk through will appear when preparation meets timing, and you will recognize them instantly because they feel like destiny finally moving. Do not chase every door. Do not exhaust your energy on every tempting chance. Instead, build your skills, grow your wisdom, and cultivate your patience. When the moment comes, and it will, you will step through with confidence, fully aligned with the path that was waiting for you all along. This is how the universe rewards those who prepare silently, act strategically, and wait patiently. The right door will open, and when it does, your life will never be the same. Number 8, a calm strength that intimidates without intention. In a world that celebrates noise, chaos, and constant assertion, calmness is often mistaken for weakness. People equate loudness with authority, aggression with competence, and constant action with power. But those who understand the deeper truths of life know that true strength does not need to announce itself. It does not seek validation or applause. Calm strength, quiet confidence, and unshakable composure are far more intimidating than the loud declarations of someone chasing attention. In 2026, this will be the trait that separates the truly powerful from the merely visible. Calm strength is not passive, it is not indifference or apathy. It is the product of mastery over oneself, over emotions, impulses, and reactions. It is the ability to remain centered when chaos surrounds you, to maintain clarity when pressure mounts, and to make decisions that are deliberate rather than reactionary. People with this kind of strength do not need to prove themselves because their presence alone communicates certainty. They carry a quiet authority that commands respect effortlessly, and those who underestimate them quickly discover the danger. Calm strength is unshakable, unyielding, and persistent. Consider the example of a leader in a high-stakes corporate environment. While others panic when challenges arise, reacting impulsively or lashing out at subordinates, the leader with calm strength surveys the situation with measured focus. They make decisions with precision, their confidence unspoken but unmistakable. This energy affects everyone around them, the panicked colleagues, the competitors, and even clients who are used to chaos. Calm strength does not need to intimidate intentionally. Its mere existence sets a standard that others cannot match. It becomes a quiet force field, repelling recklessness and inviting trust. The origin of calm strength lies in preparation and discipline. Those who appear unshakable have spent countless hours in invisible work, mastering their craft, honing emotional resilience, and understanding the world in ways most never take the time to explore. Like the roots of a great tree, their strength is buried deep, unseen, but it supports every visible branch of their life. This is why calm strength is rare. Most people chase visibility, reacting to every stimulus, trying to control outcomes they cannot control. True power, however, is stillness within motion, poise amidst unpredictability, and patience in the face of impatience. One of the most powerful aspects of calm strength is its subtle intimidation. Unlike aggression, it does not provoke confrontation. It commands respect naturally. A person who is loud and reactive may gain short-term attention, but their influence is brittle and temporary. A person who is calm, grounded, and steadfast influences without trying, affecting decisions, behaviors, and even the energy of those around them. In negotiations, for example, calm strength creates leverage not by threats, but by demonstrating confidence that nothing will unbalance them. In teams, it fosters loyalty and trust because people know that decisions will be fair, measured, and unwavering. Calm strength also protects against external chaos. In 2026, as the world accelerates with unpredictability, the ability to remain centered will be a superpower. While others are distracted by every challenge, crisis, and drama, those with calm strength operate from clarity. They see opportunities where others see obstacles. They conserve energy while others exhaust themselves. They act strategically, not reactively. This is the difference between someone who survives and someone who thrives. The calm mind and steady spirit allow them to navigate turbulence without being swept away. The cultivation of calm strength begins internally. It is built through self-awareness, reflection, and mastery over your emotions. Meditation, journaling, deliberate practice, and mental conditioning are not indulgences. They are investments in your unshakable presence. Each time you respond with patience rather than impulsivity, with clarity rather than panic, you reinforce a neural pathway that strengthens your calm authority. Every trial you endure without being derailed becomes a layer of resilience, making you more difficult to intimidate and harder to unsettle. A real-life illustration of calm strength can be found in athletes who perform at the highest level under immense pressure. A top-level gymnast, for example, does not react with panic when the balance beam wobbles or when the audience grows silent. They execute with precision because years of preparation have internalized control. Their calmness radiates outward, influencing teammates and intimidating competitors, not through loud proclamations, but through the quiet certainty of mastery. The same principle applies to life, business, and relationships. Calm strength is visible in presence, not in volume. It is feared in subtlety, not spectacle. Equally important is the strategic aspect of calm strength. In many situations, appearing agitated, desperate, or reactionary communicates weakness, regardless of your actual capability. The person who moves with calm authority projects the image of control, and perception in life is often as important as reality. Calm strength allows you to set terms without verbalizing dominance. It gives you leverage in negotiations, influence over peers, and patience to wait for the right moment while others act impulsively. Timing, composure, and patience become tools of silent power. Calm strength also requires restraint. It is tempting to assert dominance through aggression, to react strongly when provoked, or to prove oneself at every opportunity. The truly powerful resist this temptation. They understand that their influence grows exponentially when they act intentionally rather than impulsively. By remaining calm, they conserve energy, maintain clarity, and cultivate a presence that inspires awe. In 2026, those who master this ability will stand out not because they shout louder, but because their steadiness becomes magnetic and unassailable. Finally, calm strength aligns closely with integrity. The unshakable person does not need to exaggerate or fabricate. Their authority comes from competence, discipline, and consistency. People trust them, and trust compounds over time into influence, loyalty, and opportunity. This is why calm strength is dangerous. It is quietly formidable. It does not seek recognition, but recognition finds it anyway. It does not need to intimidate, but intimidation is a natural byproduct, because others sense the depth of capability, composure, and self-mastery that lies beneath the surface. In conclusion, the calm strength that intimidates without intention is not about aggression, visibility, or loudness. It is about being unshakable, composed, and deliberate. It is cultivated through preparation, patience, and mastery over oneself. In 2026, this trait will be more valuable than ever, allowing those who embody it to navigate chaos, seize the right opportunities, and influence the world without force. Loudness fades, panic crumbles, but calm strength endures. It is a quiet power that commands respect, inspires loyalty, and opens doors that noise alone cannot. If you embrace this principle, you will not need to prove yourself to anyone. You will not need to shout, boast, or demand attention. Your presence will speak louder than any words. In the storm of life, while others scatter, you will stand grounded. And in this quiet, unshakable strength, you will find a power that is both rare and unstoppable.